Two things. So in just a minute, I want to have some people, if you've got some things in mind, I want you to shout it out. Sherry's going to mention them, but, I only want to hear from people like me who are not physically ill. I want to hear from the support people. What has the intruder robbed from you and your life? Yes?
Physical activity.
Wally, physical activity.
Spontaneity.
Spontaneity.
My retirement.
My retirement.
Joy.
Joy. Others. People like me. Travel. Yes, Isaac. Time. Energy. Anything else? Mobility. I might throw in there intimacy. Anybody else have a thought? What's been robbed from you? Okay, in case you can't read this, I want you to just think about this is what the thief has robbed from a good percentage of the people in here. Physical activity, joy, my retirement, time, energy, mobility, spontaneity, intimacy. Now, when you look at that list, is there anything that you can summarize or a surprise to you? What would you say about this list? Keeping in mind where it came from, yes?
It seems like you're aging preternaturally. I mean, you aren't having like a normal lifespan, but you get older gradually and deal with these issues.
So you're not aging in a typical fashion, and yeah. What else strikes you about this list?
It's the same list as somebody that has a chronic illness.
It's the same list. Probably could be the same list. Well, let's just hear a few things. If you are chronically ill, what had you thought of? Energy. Yes. Mobility. Say that again. Frustration.
Independence.
Being able to function. Independence. Creativity. Friends. Dreams. Wellness. Okay? Obviously, a lot of things have been stolen from us. Okay? And I think it's important to understand that it's stolen from us, not stolen from 60% of you in this room. Stolen from us. Okay? So what do you do with an intruder? What do you do? So we recognize all of us in this room, not just a percentage, all of us in this room have been ripped off by the intruder, the enemy, the thief. What do you do with an intruder?
Kick it out.
You kick it out. What else do you do? You conquer it. You deal with it.
Lock it away.
Okay? Lock it away.
Sometimes you have to make peace with it.
Sometimes you might have to make peace with it. Okay? All right. I want you to take out of your packets a sheet that says the core and the lights. One reason I think it's important for us to see that the lists are virtually the same is because one of the mistakes I made early on in Sherry's illness was that I thought it was her problem, not mine. And I knew something was wrong, especially, and our kids were affected by it, but it was her problem. We were going to war against this enemy, but she was the only one that was really part of the war. And we were not dealing with the emotional and relational fronts. It was just the physical front. No, we're all in this. Okay? We have to come together as allies, not only collectively, but within your own home. You have to come together as allies. And I want to just point out that, we only have a few short minutes here in this keynote, and there's many things you could talk about in this. This is a big topic. But one of the things I wanted to talk about here in Sherry and I is mindset. The older I get, the more I believe mindset is really critical. And I want to take a look at mindset real briefly, and then we're going to talk about communication in this shortened amount of time we have here today. So you might be wondering, what are these first 1, 2, 3? Well, there are philosophies that are very important to me. I try to live them, and they are very important to me as an ally to Sherry in this battle against the intruder. Number 1, remember this is a mindset. Number 1, life is difficult. First sentence from a very famous book. Do you know what it was? Road Less Traveled. M. Scott Peck wrote that book in the late 70s. About 3 years ago, I saw where he still makes $250,000 in royalty a year on that one book. If you haven't had a chance to read the book, I would suggest it, and maybe just the first 6 pages. What he says is, in its normal state, life is difficult. In its normal state, life is difficult. He goes on to say, many people, I was one of them for many years, many people think in its normal state, life is meant to be easy. In its normal state, life is difficult. Hey, everybody here in this room knows life is difficult. There are people in this huge complex here today that are not dealing directly or indirectly with chronic illness, and their life is difficult. I think it's important to understand that life is difficult in its normal state. Life is difficult. Number 2, we're all imperfect. Now at this point you might be saying, boy, this guy from Colorado is awfully pessimistic. Actually, it's not pessimism at all. It's reality. We all know intellectually, hey, life is difficult. Things don't always go smoothly, and I'm not perfect. What I find is when you understand the reality of that, it actually takes some of the pressure off. Sherry was not perfect leading up to her illness, and once she got ill, she has not handled it perfectly. Okay, sorry, Sherry. I'm sorry to. I, on the other hand, I also have not been perfect. And it's really cool when I understand she's not going to be perfect, and she understands I'm not going to be perfect. It takes some of the pressure off. Okay? Okay? And the third one really ties it all together. Use whatever happens as a learning or teaching opportunity. Something like the intruder coming into your family, is that something happening? What's something you've learned or can teach because of that? Let's hear a couple things. Yes?
I've learned it's okay to say no.
It's okay to say no. Somebody said patience. Yeah.
When people say you need to lead a normal life, I answer back to them, normal's only a setting on the dryer. There's no such thing as
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Good. 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 All right. Yes. Normal is only a setting on the dryer. And there really is no normal. What's normal for any one of us here is not going to be necessarily normal for anyone else in this room. Thank you, Val. All right, so I like these 3. Life is difficult. We're all imperfect. Use whatever happens as a learning or teaching opportunity. It has changed my approach to life. And, chronic illness isn't the only difficulty Sherry and I have. But this really helps me, and I would hope in this slim amount of time we have here, I hope this mindset part will be helpful to you. One final thought is this resilience. You'll see a definition of resilience. I think a resilient person has the ability to recover from misfortune and or positively move forward in the face of significant change.